Hi, good evening. Welcome to Practice to Pass webinar session for SBL September 2021 attempt. My name is Hassan Dosani. If you are able to hear me clearly and see the screen clearly, please can you type yes in the question box. Excellent, excellent. I am getting a lot of yes. Very good. Right. So I would like to start with an apology of starting 6 minutes late because there was a big technical issue. So my apologies for that. And I would like to put on my video, but because of this technical hitch, it's not possible right now, and I didn't want to delay it anymore. So maybe I will look into the break and try to fix it. Right. So let's start. I think let us start with a small prayer that this session and your effort, may God reward you and pass you in with flying colors. Amen. All right. So most of you, it is your first webinar, and some of you have already seen my webinars. So I'll just quickly go through the standard stuff first. So our strategy for 5 days, we will spend 1/3 of the time in topics and concepts, and the remaining 2/3 of the time I would like to spend on practice and exam techniques and professional skills. So be ready to do a lot of questions, and we will do few topics. We will practice on those topics, and then we will move to the next topic. Okay. Before we proceed, please note that this webinar is based on CBE approach because majority of the countries in the world are now on CBE. Maybe few countries are still on manual. So I have been asked by ACCA office to follow the CBE platform, and I will be using the CBE platform for SBL to do all my questions. All right, webinars approach. As you know, it is a 5-day webinar. I have been given only 15 hours, and it is not practically possible to cover the entire SBL or all the important topics in 15 hours. You know that. So hence, please keep in mind that all topics are not being covered in this webinar. However, the topics which I am not able to cover this time have already been covered in my previous webinars. So if you want to do a comprehensive coverage of the important topics, first of all, you need to watch the September webinar, and then for the missing topics, I will guide you which webinar, which day, which topic. I will give you a very easy list on the last day of the webinar so that you can take a overall view of all the important topics. Right. So that's very important that you watch September webinar in conjunction with the previous webinars if you want a comprehensive coverage. Now, how to ask questions. This one is a very important. How to ask questions. First of all, I want all of you to ask as many questions as you can. Okay, this is your golden chance to ask questions. The more you will ask, the more clarity you will have. Okay, so I do encourage a lot of questions. I want this session to be interactive and two-way active communication. However, please bear in mind that your question should be relevant. Okay, what do I mean by relevant? For example, if I am talking about a particular topic in the slide, make sure that you ask questions relating to that topic only. Okay, why? Because if you ask an irrelevant question, I will not stop the topic in between and then answer something which is not relevant to that topic. I cannot break the tempo. I hope you understand. But in the end, every day, in the end, I will allocate 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes for an open house question and answer. In that Q&A session, you can ask me anything, but during the presentations, please restrict your questions to the topic, and every 5 minutes I will stop. I will go through the chat box. The only way you can ask question is you need to type your questions in the question box, and I will be going through it. Okay, so let me have a quick look at the questions so far. Very nice. Yes, you cannot see me because my camera is off because of some technical issues. If you cannot hear me, then my admin will, the ACCA admin will fix it. All right, let's move on. Right. A very brief introduction of myself. Professionally, I am a fellow chartered accountant from PricewaterhouseCoopers. I qualified way back in 1999. It's almost 20 years now. And I am basically now a CFO slash finance director for last 10 years in a variety of multinational companies, mainly in insurance sector. So I live in Dubai and I work in Dubai. I'm happily married. And why do I teach SBL? Number one, teaching is my passion. I have been teaching for last 20 years. I have taught around more than 5,000 students. And why did I select SBL? Because I feel that since I am a senior finance professional, I sit in the board. I think that my experience I want to share with all the students. I feel that it becomes easy for me to explain SBL to accountants, right? This is my 6th ACCA's practice to pass webinar. So I'm very experienced now in webinars. And if you want to contact me, just you can save my WhatsApp number. If you have any questions, you can always WhatsApp me. All right. Now I do have a SBL WhatsApp group. It is a global group in which all the SBL students we join like a community. People can ask questions in the group, and people do answers in the group, and we share articles and all the things on the group. If you want to be added to the group, this is not my number, this is my coordinator's. Please note this number. Please send, we will send you the link. All right, to add to the SBL group, and we, so please, I strongly recommend those of you who are not yet part of this number. 321. All right. professional level papers, the passing rates took a major dip. So if you look at all the strategic professional level papers for June, SBL has the highest passing rate, which is 46%. So that's kind of good news in a relative sense, that amongst all the strategic professional papers, SBL has the highest passing rate. However, it is 46%. By the way, it's not too bad, 46%. You know, there are subjects with 33% passing rates. Right. Now is the interesting bit. A lot of students say that SBL is very difficult, but I disagree. I say it's not difficult, it is different. Okay, there's a difference between being difficult and being different. So what do I mean when I say it is different? It's number one, it is one integrated case study. Okay, you are given just one big fat case study. There is around 6 to 8 exhibits which are given. Okay, they are approximately 8 to 10 pages long in total, and then there's a list of requirements. So the size is too big. It's like 10 to 12 pages paper, right? The second thing is, it is the longest paper of ACCA. I know that you have not done any paper more than 3 hours or 3 hours and 15 minutes, correct? So this one is the longest paper, which means that once you cross the 3rd hour and once you enter the 4th hour, you will be dead tired. You will be physically exhausted, mentally exhausted, most frustrated person on earth, but you need to do it. All right, so it's a test of stamina and patience, and we need to build it up. Okay, the third big difference is 20 marks have been allocated for professional skills. That's crazy. Can I say 20% of your paper is just professional skills? That's a lot. 20% of the paper is professional skills. So you need to really master the professional skills and make sure that you score good marks in professional skills if you want to pass SBL. I know many students who flunked at 47, 48, 49. Go and ask them. They will regret. They will say, I wish I would have focused a little bit more on the formats or on the tone. I would have passed. So please, professional skills, very important. And then not everything is bad news. There is good news as well, that in SBL there is less emphasis on models. This is good news. Okay, so a student who uses a model, he will get marks, but a student who doesn't use a model for any reason, he can or she can also score good marks as long as the answer is logical and covers all the relevant points. So the use of model is not mandatory. And then various formats are required in SBL. You need to make reports, you need to draft briefing notes and memos, you will be asked to make presentation slides, or maybe press release, write emails, letters, prepare a project initiation document. There are so many formats. Again, the good news is the formats are easy and pretty standard. The bad news is you have to be familiar with all of them. And then again, some good news. 20 to 25% of the paper is common sense. Doesn't belong to any chapter or anything. It is just common sense. The examiner has heard from somewhere that common sense is not common anymore. So that is why he's trying or testing your common sense. So this is good news for students who are not able to completely do all the topics. But if you are smart, if you are intelligent, if your IQ is acceptable level, you will be able to address the paper, especially those questions which are common sense questions. So all of these things makes SBL very unique as compared to the other ACCA papers so far, right? You have given, then it requires a different approach in preparation, and a different exam skills and approach during the paper. What I felt was that those students who were able to pass SBL in first attempt, or who were able to score good marks, those guys, okay, let me simplify this. Do you want SBL to feel easy? Then stop thinking like a student. When you are doing a paper, don't think that you are a dumb student. Don't think that you have read a book or syllabus and you are giving a paper. Don't think like that. Upgrade yourself. Think like a CFO. Just imagine that you are the head of finance of that organization, and automatically you will feel a rush in your body. Suddenly you will start thinking like a businessman. Think that it is your business. Forget that you are a student, and it will make your life easy. I honestly try it out. And then don't think that your answer is going to be checked by the examiner. For example, if you are writing a report, don't think that you are writing a report for the examiner or the marker, someone will check it. Don't think like that. You will come under undue pressure. Just think that whatever you write is gonna be read by the board of directors, because you are a CFO and you are writing to the board of directors, educating, informing the other directors, and automatically your confidence will boost up. So try this approach, that stop thinking like a dumb student writing to a dumber. Think like a CFO writing to the board. I'm examiner. I'm very, very sure now when I'm talking to you and I'm talking about SBL, forget that you are an SBL student. Upgrade yourself. Feel that you are a CFO and another CFO is talking to you and making a presentation. Suddenly you feel that your mind and your receptive power will start functioning more faster, more efficiently. Right, CFOs? So now for the next 5 days, I will call you guys CFOs. Okay, I want you to get into that psychological mindset. All right, CFOs, can I have a yes? Please type a yes if you are okay. Are you guys able to hear me? Because I'm not getting any responses. Can you type a yes, please? I'm not getting your messages. I don't know why I'm not getting your questions. Ah, okay, now I'm getting. Wait a second. All right. Yes, yes. Now I'm getting lots of yes. Right, CFOs. Well done. Let's move on. Okay. So most students, I want you are not aware CBE practice available on ACCA's website. Okay. Each subject has its own CBE practice platform, and you can always log on to that practice platform and practice your questions on directly on the CBE practice platform. You're right, it is extremely important that instead of you doing your answers on a piece of paper or typing on MS Word, I would highly recommend that you guys actually use the CBE platform so that you are familiar. There is no hesitation. Your speed is good. You still have time. So please use this thing, ACCA's practice platform. How do you access it? Well, a simple answer. Otherwise, I've given here. Okay, the link is here, and when you will click this link, okay, um, something like this will open up. And if you go down here, you will see under resources, you will see login to the practice platform. And there, when you will click here, it will ask for your my ACCA ID and password, and then you can navigate your way through the various steps. Okay. So once you log in to the practice platform, you will see a list of subject and you will see strategic business leader. And when you click on that, you will see ACCA official resources. Click on that and you will see past exam library, practice exams, and specimen exams. When you click on past exams, it will show you these two papers. So last two attempts are appearing in past exam. And when you click on practice exam, it will open up three papers. Okay, these are again actual SBL papers. And specimen exams, these are the three specimen papers. Okay, so I want you to definitely do all these questions because these are the actual past papers which ACCA has uploaded in your practice platform. So please, I request you that you must do all these questions on directly on the practice platform. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, very good. Is the practice timed? No, the CBE practice platform is not timed. You will need to time yourself. I will answer these questions in a bit. Okay. All right, let me move on. I want to show, do you want to see a real paper and the CBE platform, especially those who are giving CBE for the first time, SBL CBE, and it will be a quick warm up for the others. So here, so when you enter the CBE platform, you might see a list of subjects. I will click on strategic business leader here, and it will open up ACCA official resources. Okay, it will tell me past exam library, practice exams, specimen exams. Okay, let's open one real paper, and these two paper are there. So I want to open the previous attempt paper. So let me click on this, and it's March, June 2021. I will click on that, and this is your paper. So those of you who are giving SBL or SBL CBE for the first time, this is the first screen you will see when you start your paper. So on the left side is the, various things. You can increase or decrease this thing. Okay. First of all, it will give you all the exhibits. So in this paper, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 exhibits. Number 1 is overview, number 2 is NCCP, website extract, and so forth. Then followed by tasks. Task means questions. So question number 1 is 34 marks, question 2 is 29 marks, and then followed by response type or response options, in which you have a word processor, a spreadsheet, and presentation slides. So let's open the overview. So I will click on overview and a new window will open. You see a new window is opening here. You can move this window anywhere. You can change the size of this window. How? You go to the right corner, right down, and you go to the corner, you will see a small arrow. You can drag and increase the width, or you can increase the height. Okay, so this is the first exhibit, which tells you about the company. So you can read, you can even highlight. For example, if it says its mission is to promote da 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 da. So if you see here, there's a highlight option. So I just press highlight and it will be highlighted. Okay, highlighted. If I select this one and I want to change the color of the highlight, I go to this yellow, I click, I change color, and it changes color. If I want to remove the highlights, I select all of them, I go and I'll say remove highlight. Okay, that's one nice feature. You can read and you can highlight, but better still, are you able to copy paste information? I don't know. So let me take the screen on one side. Let me go down to the word processor. Let's open a word processor. So you can see that multiple windows can be opened. I can adjust the things. All right. And let's see, I will select this paragraph. I want to copy. I will say Control C, or I will right click and copy. I will go here and I will paste Control V, or you can paste from this icon, or you can also press up, I think by paste, no, not by paste plain text. No, it's not working. It did, but it did not write the. So all right, so how can you copy? It's a very important thing. You select, right click, copy, you go to the word processor and you either do a Control V or you can paste. All right, we will be using a lot of this feature of copy pasting on the word processor. So I will be reading exhibits and then I will be copying stuff on my answer sheet like this. Okay, that's an important thing. So what happens if I close my word processor? That processor, or it closes by mistake, nothing happens. So whatever there, load it. All right, so it looks like some financials. So okay, I want to copy this entire thing I will do right click, copy. I will go on my word processor and I will just do control V, or no, I think it's okay, got it. How does the task or question look? Let's click on one question. So this is a question, some background of the requirements, and then the bold ones are the actual question. For example, it says prepare a report for presentation to the board which A assesses NCC blah 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 blah. It is 16 marks. And then there is a professional skills mark available for demonstrating analysis skills, 4 marks. So can anybody tell me what is the total marks for this question? Question 1A, what is the total marks? Very good. Total marks is 20, out of which the technical marks is 16 and 4 marks is professional. Very nice. Can we copy the questions? Yes, you can also copy the questions. Control C, I'll go to the Word document and I will paste the question. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. So did you get a feel of this left side is very important. It will have all the exhibits, all the questions, and then the response. Word processor, there's a spreadsheet. Let's click on the spreadsheet. And it will be something like Excel. Okay, but in SBL, you don't need to use any spreadsheet. Okay, you can manage by only using the word processor. If you need to insert something, you can insert a table in word processor. How? If you click here, go on the word processor, how do you insert a table? Very simple. You see this option of table here? Click here, click on table, and it will ask you how many columns and how many rows, just like a Word document. And I select 3 into 9, and here you go. The table is there. You can change the size of the columns. You can move and drag. It's pretty easy, just like a Word document. You can center, you can all these things. And for example, if you give a heading report, then you can actually, through paragraph, these are all the various font size. You can increase the font size of report, or you can make it small, you can make it big, you can make it center. There's a bullet points, there's a numbering. It's pretty standard. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the CBE platform and how you can navigate, and we will see more of it when we will be doing the practice questions in a bit. Any questions so far? Can we edit what is it? Can I, what sort of a question we should expect in a spreadsheet? Not really in SBL. I mean, spreadsheet is given, but if you are supposed to calculate NPV, IRRs, those technical number stuff, then you will be needing this. Okay, otherwise no need. I haven't seen a SBL question in which you need Excel. Can we copy information from spreadsheet to the word processor? Yes. Very good question. How many word processors are there? There is just one word processor, and all your answers, all your questions will need to be typed in that one word processor. You will not get a fresh processor for a fresh question. So you will need to number your questions properly so that the examiner can follow through and clearly see which question is starting when? Okay. Shazib, please hold these kind of questions which are not, I will cover all these. Do we need to show workings? No. You know, the question screen is moving so fast that I'm not able to read properly. Okay, so I think you are good. Just a second, guys. I'm receiving some complaints about the voice quality. Give me a minute. All right, so let's go back. So I showed you the CBE platform. Now this is very, very important, guys. Listen, CFOs, I need your attention. Do you know why people they fail SBL? If you want to pass SBL, then we have to know why people fail SBL so that we don't repeat those mistakes. So if you look at the latest March-June 2021 examiner's report, I saw this comment in the start and I swear it was there. Overall, the standard of answers in June 2021 attempt was one of the poorest in SBL so far. Oh my God. No wonder the passing rate took a big dip from 50, it came down to 46%. Examiner is really pissed off. Okay. And I was talking to the ACCA office and they gave me some feedbacks. And they especially wanted me to cover those feedbacks in the upcoming webinar. So this slide is very important. On the left side, I have mentioned all the weaknesses or the reasons why students they fail SBL. And this is coming right from ACCA's office. Okay. And on the right hand sides are recommendations again given to me by ACCA office. So if you want to pass SBL, we need to actually focus a lot on this slide because unless we address the issues which ACCA feels we are lacking, we will never be able to pass, right? So the first weakness, answers not linked with exhibits. That's the most common issue in each and every attempt, that the examiner, he always says that the answers are not linked with the exhibits. People, they try and give theoretical answer or they give a general answer. They do not answer in the context of the scenario. Please remember, it is a scenario based exam. If you talk bullshit, you will never pass. So first and foremost thing is all your answers has with the exhibit. How do we do that? I will complaints about the voice quality, so I want to fix it. My apologies. Number two, this one one weakness, answers not linked with exit. Right. So if you are a examiner and students are copy pasting the entire exhibit, wouldn't you get pissed off? So yes, we have to copy paste. Don't get me wrong, because obviously I need to bring all the facts and figures and statistics from the exhibits in my answer. That is how I linked, right? But then I need to explain, I need to demonstrate my concept, or I need to explain why I have brought this point and how it relates to the situation. Understood? So you can imagine that how, if you will copy paste a point, and then you have to write a couple of lines explaining that point, that why you think that point is important. All right. And then the examiner says poor technical knowledge and professional skills. And under professional skills specifically, he mentioned analysis skills and commercial acumen skill was. And then excessively short answer. Very poor. The keyword is excessively short, but not is that the students are. How does he know 3 points? It's not going to fly, I'm afraid. So you need to plan the sufficient number of points according to the marks, and I will tell you how you can do that. Weak grip over, this one is very bad. He was very pissed off. Weak grip over word response tools. Very pissed off. They feel that students don't know how to use Word document. Okay, they don't know how to use Word document. So the one which he opened, this one, word processor. So you need to have a very good command over this one. Okay, it has to be very perfect, bold, centering, formatting, tables. If you do not demonstrate that you have good grip over the word processor tool, you will not pass SBL going forward, because this time they feel that students um, who are giving strategic professional level papers, they should be good in Word, because that's what you will be using when you become CFOs, right? And then lastly, students not doing practice on CBE platform. These are 7 weaknesses. So I've highlighted the 3 in blue. These are some extra or specific weaknesses which the team had informed me day before yesterday. They wanted me to emphasize on these ones. What do you do now? During your preparation phase, practice using the CBE platform, which I already showed to you the link. If you don't have time to do full questions, you know, SBL question is 4 hours each, right? Maybe it's not possible to sit straight 4 hours, although you should be like that, but still, then they suggested that at least you should solve question number 1 of all the SBL past exams using the CBE practice platform. And then they suggest that do at least 1 full mock exam on CBE under time conditions, so that you can sit for straight 4 hours, you can test your stamina, your patience, your focus level, because 4 hours is a long journey, long marathon. And then get your answers reviewed by a teacher or a mentor. So whatever mock exam you do, unless someone checks it and gives you feedback, it is job half done. And during the exams, they want you to focus on these things. Use case materials in your answer. Very simple. Explain how the point you made is relevant. Allocate time wisely, which is basically time management. Constantly refer back to questions to keep focus. I really liked it. This is coming from the exam team. Huh? Constantly refer back to the question to keep focus. So when you are drafting, sometimes you might deviate, and then if you deviate, this will happen. Your answer will not address the requirement. So try and read the questions couple of times during the drafting phase so that you can remain focused, and then answers professionally in the Word response tool. Present your answer. This is $1 million, guys and girls. If you can learn from others' mistake, you will definitely pass SBL in one shot. Where did it go? Wait. Right, so if you want, you can take a snapshot of this, because this is a very important slide. I will now take questions. Will we be provided with a rough sheet? I'm not sure. I think if you are giving a center-based exam, then yes. Otherwise, if it's a home-based exam, then no. But that's, I'm 80% sure, not 100%. Do they penalize for typing errors? Very good question. Do they penalize for typing errors or spelling errors or typos? Yes. Okay. If there are little typo errors, then they will ignore. Okay, because there is no spell check tool available in the software, and they do understand that you are typing under stress situation. So up to a reasonable level, spelling and typo errors will be ignored by the marker. But if there is excessive spelling mistakes and typo errors, like every second line there is a stupid mistake, then you will lose professional marks, because then it will mean that you guys are not fit to write a report to the board of directors, right? Uh, I'm just going through some questions. Syllabus changes. Yes, I'm gonna talk about this. How many questions? I will tell you all this. Cause of failure at 47. Ali Khan, you will know better than anyone else why you failed at 47. I just showed you the common reasons why students fail. You will need to judge why you failed at 47. I personally feel that people who fail around 47, 48 are those people who either did not do sufficient mock practice on the platform, or they do not focus on professional marks and formats. EPSM, the ethical module, no, we will not talk about it, and it is not directly important for SBL. So please push back on EPSM, talk about it after your SBL papers. Technical articles, I will talk about it in a bit. What do you mean by case material? What kind of question is that? Case material means all the information given in the case. Oh my God. What kind of a CFO are you? All right. So guys, before I move to the next slide, I need to change my internet. So give me 1 minute. I will just have my internet replaced so that the line quality is improved. Give me a minute. All right, guys, I'm back. Can I, if you can see me clearly, no, not see me. If you can see the screen and hear me, can I have a yes, please, before I restart? Very good. Okay, let's move on. So, I'm very sorry that I am giving some extra time to these things like weaknesses and recommendations, and not directly jumping at questions or topics, because I feel that this foundation is very, very important. So just bear with me. I do hope that this is helpful to you, especially those who are resitting, so that you can analyze your mistakes. This is more important to do a root fix. Now is the slide people have been waiting for. Study plan in last 3 to 4 weeks. So when is your paper? I think your paper is on 7th of September, right? So it is kind of 3 weeks or maybe 4 weeks. Yeah, almost between 3 and 4 weeks. So what to do now, especially those people who just started your preparation? You just have, let's say, 3.5 weeks. So first of all, please acknowledge that you are starting late and you have very limited time. Okay, let's accept this fact. And now, what do we do in this limited time? You will not be able to do everything in 3 weeks, correct? So stop dreaming about doing everything, like reading the book and doing the kit and reading all the notes. Forget it. You are late. So please follow this slide. These are the 4 things you need to do in the next 4 weeks. First one, watch September 2021 webinar, the whole series, watch it thoroughly. Okay. And then after that, you watch the earlier webinars for additional topics. And I will share the list of additional topics on day 5. So as far as your preparation is concerned, your knowledge and preparation of syllabus is concerned, step number 1 and step number 2 will help you cover 20-25 important topics along with practice. All right. And then you need to practice 3 to 5 SBL questions on the CBE platform under time management. Okay, so once you are done with 1 and 2, then you will, let's say in the 3rd week, you can practice 3 to 5 SBL questions on CBE platform under time management. Which question to practice? I will share a list of suggested questions for you, because you know some questions are very easy, some questions are very difficult. I want you to practice some balanced questions. So I will share a list on the last day. And then finally, like 4 or 5 days before the exam, you need to do at least 2 mock exams and have it checked by a tutor or a mentor. A proper mock exam, and you will have to have it checked, the script, by a professional experienced teacher, so that they can give you feedback and tell you your weaknesses. Very, very important. Now, you know, I also offer a mock based practice classes, but that's paid because my college does not allow me to offer free classes. So my mock based practice classes is starting from 14th of August, which is right after the webinar. And what will I do there? I will be doing 5 SBL questions. I will solve 5 full SBL questions in 5 live classes, full questions. After that, I will organize 2 mock exams. So that's 7 questions in total. And out of these 2 mock, I will be checking 1 mock and giving you feedback. And all the classes will also be recorded for future viewing or people with different time zones. And if you are interested in more details, can you please message on my coordinator Usman on this number, and Usman will be happy to share all the details. Please keep in mind there are limited seats because I cannot manage 200 students in last 2 weeks, right? But for self-study students, please focus on this. There is a lot of material available on YouTube and all those things. So please, this will be very helpful, and join the My SBL group. That's a free group where we all try to help each other. All right. Just give me 1 minute. I'm getting a call from the ACC office again. All right. Do I have any questions on your study plan? Please look at the next slide. Oops, what's happening? Wait a minute, guys. There's something wrong. Um, okay. Look at this slide. Stay away from book and revision kits. You don't have time, or you just have like three and a half weeks, right? So please don't waste your precious limited time on books and kits. To pass SBL, you have to practice. So just, take advantage of this webinar. You can use my simplified notes instead of the books, and rather than revision kits, do actual case studies of SBL. And all this material is available in my SBL WhatsApp group. Okay. Any questions? I will take questions before I proceed now. I'm just reading through the questions. How to join WhatsApp group? I showed you the number in the start, and I will again show you the number towards the end. No new WhatsApp group, it's all same. I will answer those exam techniques. Okay. Now this is a list of important topics. Again, since we have just 3 weeks, we should not try and do all the syllabus. Please just focus on the top 25 important topics of SBL. The top 25 important topics includes 10 models and 15 topics. So 10 plus 15 is 25. And all these topics have been covered by me in the webinar series. If you watch the previous webinars and this webinar, I try to rotate, I try to change the topics in each webinar so that we are able to cover a full cycle. So please just focus on these topics. So what's today's plan? So now, first thing is I will teach you how to link your answers with the exhibit. Remember the first and foremost reason why students fail. And then I will talk about syllabus changes. I will talk about technical articles because most students are worried about these two. So I want to address this right in the start. And then today's topic is external factors, PESTEL, Porto 5, and strategic position. After that, we will be doing this question of smartware, and professional skills will start from tomorrow. and this is the format which I will cover today, right? Syllabus change. Were you guys waiting for this? So I see a lot of panic going around syllabus change. Please hear me properly and then we will discuss, right? So in a nutshell, it is a very, very minor change for SBL. Okay. Why? Okay. It's very simple. New topics added. Just 2 new topics have been added. How much? 2 new topics. One is called 4-line of defense approach under risk management. And the other one is called artificial intelligence, robotics, and machine learning. That's it. These are the 2 new additions to the syllabus. One topic was deleted, and it was called Tucker 5-question approach for ethical situations, which has never been tested in SBL. And then there were amendments. Okay, so 2 topics were added, one topic was removed altogether, and then there were lots of amendments. So amendments, basically I went through all the amendments. They were mostly either clarifying the syllabus, giving more details about it, or removing it from one place and adding the same topic to another place, like repositioning. So there are no significant amendments. Most amendments are to add clarity to the existing syllabus. So trust me. So if you look at the syllabus change document, it is a very lengthy document. So it looks like there are so many things happening. But if you read line by line, so it's most of them are amendments, which are, again, most of the amendments are to bring clarity. All the new topics are just 2 new topics have been added, and those are very small. For example, 4-line of defense, it's very small. I will cover it on my day 5. And what about artificial intelligence? A lot of teachers are making it a big deal. They are creating panic. They are saying, oh my God, so much changes. I am arranging a 3-hour session on syllabus change. Oh God. I mean, I don't blame those teachers, because those teachers who are causing this panic is basically they are more syllabus focused teachers, whereas my approach is more exam focused. So let's say artificial intelligence. Do you know what is AI? What is artificial intelligence? Do you know that? These are softwares which behaves or carries out tasks like a human being. So for example, robotics, we can use robotics in manufacturing, right? So that is AI, that is machine learning, that's robotics, whatever word you would like to call it. In day-to-day terms, these day-to-day life, these words are interchangeably used. What about driverless cars? Have you heard that there are driverless cars, and a lot of driverless taxis and driverless cars are being experimented? This is AI. Can anybody tell me what are the advantages of artificial intelligence? There must be some advantages, right? That is why organizations are adopting it. Speed, very good. Less errors, very good. Reduces time. It is available 24/7. Low dependency on people. No mood swings. More standardization. Higher precision. Higher quality. bulk it can handle, da 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 da. I can go on, go on, go on. You just need to remember 2, 3, 4 advantages. Very good, very good. Now stop writing. Now can you tell me some disadvantages of AI in your opinion? There must be some risks, right? What can go wrong? Data breach, expensive, it creates unemployment, it may make system errors or malfunction, high dependency on technology. Supposing if internet doesn't work, you're screwed. Cyber security, hacking, malware. Perfect, perfect. And can anybody tell me some ethical implications? Ethical means to do with people, morals, values. What can be some ethical implications which we need to consider regarding AIs? Data misuse, very good. Data misuse, privacy of data, that's an ethical thing. The system, the software knows too much. There is no privacy. They know all my internal dirty secrets. That's an ethical thing. Profit versus social responsibility. It will create unemployment. How do difficulty in accountability, redundancy of staff. For example, if a driverless taxi goes and hits someone, if a driverless taxi goes and hit an old lady, who will you slap? Where is the bloody driver? Who will you hold accountable for that? You see? Yes, I can see your comments. Yeah. So these are some ethical question marks. So this is exactly what was here. AI's, the potential benefits, the risks, the ethical implications. Now, who's saying that you guys don't know this topic? Did you learn it from when you were? No. It's just some common sense. You see, so these are the kind of changes. Please, SBL is all about real world common sense things. Maybe for other subjects, syllabus changes might be nerve shattering, but not in SBL. So please stay calm, stay focused. Your main thing is to do practice rather than do a PhD in the syllabus. Okay, very good. Any questions on syllabus changes for SBL only? I'm coming to technical articles. I will cover this syllabus change, the two topics, the 4 line of defense and AI, which we already did cover now on the last day, so that nobody is unprepared. But I'm just telling you that it's as simple as this, right? Okay, let's move on. Now, again, a lot of people are worried about technical articles. Sir, should we read technical articles? Sir, oh, Baba, there's a lot more in SBL than technical articles. So just look at this. Technical articles in SBL published in last 1 year. Okay, I looked at the last 12 months. Only 3 articles were published. The last one was cyber security. Okay, and when an article is published, 95% that topic will be tested in the upcoming paper. So cyber security was published few months back, and it was covered by me in March 2021 webinar, March. And then this topic was tested in June. So all the last 3 articles in SBL are quite old. They have been already tested in the exams, And besides that, I've already covered these articles in my September and March webinars. There is no new technical article after the last one, which was cyber security, right? However, we will need to keep our eyes open for any new article between now and till the exam. That would be important. If there is no new article published, then please forget about technical articles, because in SBL, the last one was published 6 months back and it has been tested in June already. So it is not going to repeat itself, right? So technical articles is out of the way. Relaxed. Good. Any questions? Does AI cause carbon footprint? Very interesting. Yes. Where to find technical articles? Baba, you are a CFO. Do you think a CFO will ask, hello, where can I find technical articles? Knock, knock. Just Google. If you don't know how to find stuff on your own, you don't deserve to pass SBL, right? Will you pass someone SBL, strategic business leader, if he doesn't know how to search? So please up your game, okay? Up your game. Think like a CFO. Right, so now we will talk about exam techniques. Exam techniques. I will cover exam techniques and briefing paper. That will take like 15-20 minutes, and then I will give a break. What's the time now? It's 9:54, 8:30, 9:30. Okay. All right. So we are on track. So now I will give a break right in the center, right after 80 minutes. So another 10-15 minutes left. So the first thing, most important, how to link answer with exhibits. A very, very important thing. First of all, in order for you to highlight or identify relevant information from the exhibits, do you think you would need to know the requirements first? What do you think? Do you think you should know the requirements so that you can highlight or identify relevant information from the exhibits? Absolutely right. You need to know the requirements first. So always when we start SBL paper, we start by reading the requirements. But you know what the problem is? That there are several requirements. If you add up all the parts, so on an average, there will be 8 questions to 10 or even sometimes 12 questions. So there are 8 to 12 questions in a SBL paper. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my memory is getting old. I cannot remember all the 8 or 10 requirements when I'm reading the exhibits. Okay, I can remember a few of them, obviously, but I cannot remember all the 10 requirements. Can you? So for those students or those people who cannot remember 10 requirements by heart, I would suggest that we make a quick list of requirements. Okay, why? Because if you see let me go to the CBE platform. If you see this thing, list of requirements, The requirements are not on one page. Task 1 you have to click, you will read all these tasks, then you will have to close. Then a task 2 is something like this. So all the requirements are not in one place. So I would always, what I suggest is, let's, we make a quick list of requirements on our word processor. Remember this word processor, right? I will make a list of requirements. Let's delete everything. Why it's not deleting? Yeah, delete. And I would always suggest that you guys, first step is that we make a list of requirements, so that when we are reading the exhibit, we can keep that list of requirements on the side alongside the exhibits. So while we read the exhibits, we can again and again take a quick look at the requirements so that we can identify, right? So let's make a quick list. I will show you how to make a quick list of requirements. I will open up the word processor. I will put it on one side so that I can organize. So my screen is a bit slow, but if you have a normal size screen, or the windows can open. So task number 1A. 1A says assess NCP's internal and external stakeholders. So I will just copy the keyword, Control C. I will say this is 1A. What's happening? Sorry guys, there's something wrong with this keyboard. Let me disconnect the keyboard and connect again. What's happening? Okay, good. So I will say 1A, and I will copy this. Assess. It was, where is the question? I will just say an internal and external stakeholders, Control C. I will go here and I will paste. Okay. And then what is 1B? I will go here. Critically assess NCPP's source of competitive advantage. I will just select this, Control C, go here, paste button is here, B. And then I will close this one. I will open task number 2, and it says evaluate the executive board's approach to risk management. Evaluate approach to risk management. Okay, Control C. This is 2A, Control V, and 2B is identify the external stakeholders with an interest in internal controls. Control C. So I'm just copying the keywords, okay, so that when I'm reading the scenario, I know what to look for. Do you understand that? And so forth. I'm not going to solve it full because of time limitations, but you can assess the viability of current range of courses. Viability of current range of courses. This is 3A. Here you go. And the second one is evaluate CEO's proposal to offer new courses. Control C. 3B. Here you go. So it will take like 3 to 4 minutes, I believe. Draft a section of the needs. Explain the need for cyber security. Okay, the topic is need for speed for A, cyber security, and B is explains why to be appropriate to join whatever. So now I've made a small list in front of me, and then I will start reading. Okay, let's say I start reading this exhibit. So I will keep it here. I will keep the list of requirement in front of me. I will read the requirements. I will go through it, and then I will, regularly look at the requirements. So we make the first step is we make a list of requirements on your answer sheet, and then you can read 1 to 2 paragraphs. You can stop. You can highlight relevant sentences. You can Control C, Control V. You can copy the page, the data into your Word document under the respective headings, and then you can move on. Again, read more and repeat this step. So the first and foremost thing is to make a list of requirements. It will take 3-4 minutes of your precious time, but it will save around 15 minutes, which you might have spent in going to and from various exhibits. So better to bring everything on one page and then read and then refer to the requirements. Any questions on how to link the exhibits? Sir, there is a new technical article, A World of Intelligent Agents, is it? A World of Intelligent Agents, that's a new technical article. Wow. Are you sure? Wow. Okay, if it is a new technical article, I would cover them in my day 5. Don't you guys worry. Now, how do I search for a new technical article? Somebody asked, right? That's it. I want to see right now what that article is about. Leadership strategy, I think it must be in technology. A world of intelligent. So ladies and gentlemen, here is the new article which was not there yesterday. And you see, artificial intelligence. So these ACCA guys are not that bad, they added something to the syllabus, and then they published a technical article to help the students prepare for those new topics, right? So artificial intelligence, what is the use of AI? Where is it being used? Environment, customer relationship, other sector, though these are the areas. Machine learning, oh, it's too much bookish. Robotics, use of robotics, very good. Ethics, unemployment, distribution of income, influencing behaviors, ethical frameworks. Conclusion. Right, so yes, I will, when I will cover artificial intelligence, I will cover all this on day 5. Thank you very much. God bless you, that student who just informed everyone. What else? Let me quickly go through the questions. Yes, I agree regarding. I'm just going through a list of questions which I think are relevant. I will answer right now. Okay, so I think that AI will be an important topic for this attempt now. It was important because it was included in the syllabus, and now because on the fact that a technical article is just published, I do expect either a question directly on AI's advantage, risks, ethical implications, or maybe the case scenario might pertain to a technology industry who are investing in AI, creating AIs. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe it is an industry which is a heavy user of AI, or a company which is planning to adopt AI. So there could be possible scenarios. So we'll cover that on day 5. Uh, right, guys. So referencing, I know it's difficult, but it is difficult to explain. But when we will do the questions, you will actually see it's not that difficult. And the more you will do with your own hands using your own CBE platform, it will become piece of cake. Okay, so just stay tuned. The last topic before we go on a break is a briefing paper format. Very, very important, because this is one of the most frequently asked format in SBL. There are 3 names. Sometimes the examiner says prepare a briefing paper. Sometimes the examiner says prepare a briefing note. Sometimes the examiner says prepare a memo. Okay, they're all the same thing. So whenever a format is there, the first thing you will do, you will write the name of that format in the center of the page, bold, aligned, center, like a big heading. So you see, if a briefing paper is required, I gave this heading. This is part of my answer. A big heading saying briefing paper, bold, underline, so that the blind examiner, if the examiner is blind, then also he can see, there's a briefing paper is there. Okay, so that's important, that you always first name the format when you start, and then there will be a to, a from, a subject, and a date. To, it will be the name or the designation of the addressee, and it will be given or clearly mentioned in the question. From, basically you will need to mention your role. So in SBL paper, your role will be defined, that whether you are a finance manager, or you are an external consultant, or you are a NED, non-executive director, whatever your role in that scenario, you will mention your role. Please do not write your name. Okay, just mention your role, like manager finance or auditor, whatever your role, that will also be given in the scenario, right? Subject will be based on the requirements. You just copy paste the key words from the question. and date you will write 7th September 2021 because that's the day of your exam. So just write, instead of writing DDMM or the date of your birth, please write the day of the exam. After that, you will give a opening sentence. So this one is an opening sentence. You will say this briefing paper analyzes this briefing paper evaluates whatever is the thing mentioned in the question, you just copy paste from that. And then after the opening sentence, you will then start answering the actual requirement. And in the end, you will close the briefing paper by saying sincerely and again, whatever is your role. I want to show you how simple it is. So I will just open the Word thing. Okay. Now I will show you, look very carefully how fast it is. What is it? Is it a briefing paper? No caps. Briefing paper, enter, enter. To, from, subject, date, this briefing paper analyzes the potential advantages of AI along with ALO with its risks and ethical implications. Okay, advantages, and then risks, and then ethical implications, then that's it. And it was asked by CFO. I am the finance manager, and subject will be MANAGER. Subject will be AI and its implications, and date will be 7 September 2021. So this is just I just typed the template in front of you. It took me like 2 minutes. Now I need to beautify it. That's very important. First of all, I will select briefing paper. I will go to paragraph. I will select the highest, largest one, heading 1. I will say center. I will say underline. Done. And then I will actually also try to increase or bold the font size of this. Done. And then the headings, I would try to use heading 4. So this beautification will take another 30 seconds, but it is worth it. Done. So my template is ready. Now I will just start typing or copy pasting stuff and then adding my own comments. Nice, huh? Briefing paper. Did you see the briefing paper? How it looks? So it's the more, if you make 2 or 3 briefing papers using the CBE platform, God, it will become easy for you. I swear. Any questions? Okay, did you get it? How to make a briefing paper? Very nice, very nice. You guys are an intelligent bunch of CFOs. So with that, let's take a hard-earned break. And after the break, I will start with the topic for today, which is external environment. So I will have a 15-minute break, but it all depends how much time it is. It is 10:17, so make it 10:30. Okay. I will see you at 10:30 Pakistan time, which is like 12-13 minutes from now. See you in a bit. All right, guys, I am back. Are you guys back as well? Can I have a yes, please? Hi, guys, can you hear me? Okay, very good. Sorry, there was a lag. Okay, let's start now. All right. So I was going through the list of questions, and there are a couple of questions I want to answer. Number one is people are saying, how can we get access to the handouts? So the handout is available on on this webinar software. So you can download the handouts from there. And the second question is, is this session recorded and how can we access the video? And yes, this is being recorded and the video will be uploaded on Vimeo, and some students, they also upload on YouTube. So if you Google after 24 hours, you will find something. And lastly, a lot of people want to add themselves in the SBL WhatsApp group. So this is the number. Please message on this number and you will be sent a link. Okay, this is my coordinator's number. Even the link is shared on this comments group, and as well you can select from there as well. Right, so let's go down to our today's main agenda, which is a topic called external environment. And I have selected this topic because I feel that this topic is important for this attempt. Okay, so external environment. So when we talk about external environment, there are two types of external environment. One is basically the country environment, and the other one is industry environment. So for example, country environment would mean the larger or the extended environment, like the economy as a whole or political situation as a whole. An industry environment is more specific or more closer to the organization, because the industry talks about customers and suppliers and competition. So all in all, whenever we talk about external environment covers both the country environment as well as the industry environment, because both of them are external to the company. Okay. Now, the country environment is also known as macro environment, general environment. These are some other words which the examiner has used. So you must be familiar with these various terminologies which may be used for country environment. And the model which we use to analyze country environment is PESTEL. So whenever the question says analyze the country environment, we will use pastel. Or whenever the question says analyze the macro environment, we will use pastel. Or if the question says analyze the general environment, we will use pastel. Okay. Similarly, industry environment is also known as micro environment. Industry or marketplace environment. Sometimes the examiner has used the word competitive environment. You have to be very, very familiar with these terminologies because they all mean industry environment. And the model which we used for industry environment is Porter 5 forces. Okay. So I have a question here. So if the requirement says um, analyze the external environment, which model can we use? Oh God. If the question says analyze the external environment, which model to use? Most people are saying pastel and you will get half marks out of full. You will get 50% because you are wrong. I just said there are two types of external environment, correct? So whenever the question says analyze external environment, you need to do both. If the question says analyze country environment, then yes, pastel only. If the question says industry environment, then Porter only. But if the question says analyze the external environment without specifying any specific environment, then you need to do both pastel and Porter. All right, please. Let me see if there's any question. Where is the question box? Okay, here. Let me look at questions. Very good. Guys, this was I just explained that, that there are two types of environment. All right. Let's move on. Now I will explain to you pastel models. So my first question is, when do we use a pastel model? Very simple. A pastel model is to be used when we are supposed to analyze the country environment or the macro environment, or there's another word which is general environment. Okay. Pastel stands for political, economy, social, technological, ecological, legal. When we talk about political generally focuses on the government of the country. And when we say government, it could include a lot of things like government or the government policies or government subsidies or government approval or licenses. Also, it talks about the political stability of the country, the taxes. So wherever you see the word government in your case study, 99% that information will be part of political heading. So what is the key word? Government, government policies, government subsidies, government approvals, political stability, and taxes. You need to remember these keywords. Economy will talk about the overall state of the economy of the country. Is the economy growing? Is the economy static? Is the economy going down? Okay, all this directly affects the business environment, correct? So what are the keywords for economy? In the case study, you will actually see the word economy, or maybe the economic growth will be mentioned, or the case will say there's an economic downturn or a recession. Other than that, you can also look for words like inflation and interest rates and all those things, but those are smaller byproducts. The main focus of economy is to, comment on the affair or the situation of the economy as a whole. Social actually focuses on the people of the country, the population, the demographics like age, gender, educated, uneducated, the values, the norms of the people, the religious aspects, likes, dislikes, culture, all these things. So, what are the pet words which the examiner uses in the case study? Prosperous developed nation. That's if you see this word, it's a prosperous developed country, it's a social thing. Standard of living, high standard of living or low standard of living, it's a social thing. Educated population, social thing. And unemployment. Unemployment always, not always, but I prefer that we take unemployment under social. Some students or teachers, they think that unemployment is part of economy. It is subjective. There is no one right place. I prefer it under social, and because of unemployment, the impact is on the economy. But it doesn't really matter. Just simplify your life and put unemployment under social. So I talked about political, economy, and social. Very, very important. Do I have any questions relating to these three headings? Does social include trend? Yes, why not? No, Hamad. Sir, why do you consider tax under political? Uh, just any, it can also go under legal. No particular reason, because taxes are implemented by government. That is why, to show the sentiment of government. Recession comes under economy. Please, Anugara, stop asking these type of questions. Didn't you see the word recession on the slide? Don't you see this word? Why do you need to ask and piss me off by asking that does recession comes under economy? Please up your game. Okay, you are giving a strategic business leader paper, so better start thinking like one and acting like one, please, my request. Let me look at other questions. I hope they are more sensible questions. uh, is developing country a social aspect? Again, a very stupid question, because it's mentioned here on your slide, developed, prosperous. So developing, developed goes under social. Why do you need to be so, picky? All right. So now I'm getting more of stupid questions. So I believe that you guys are okay. Wait a minute. Let me get rid of this screen. All right. Let's move on. The fourth factor is technology. Now, technology focus on the technological environment of the country. When we say technology, it includes machinery, robotics, as well as IT, right? So, plant and machinery, which includes automation, robotics, engineering, skilled workers, another subjective thing. Skilled workers, by skilled workers, I mean very skilled people like scientists or research or very technical people. That's all part of technology. And then we will have IT, internet or online, roads and infrastructure. Just remember this list, okay? Technology includes all these things, but especially do remember skilled labor. Ecological, it talks about the impact on Mother Earth, like pollutions and emissions. So, what are the keywords? CO2, emissions, carbon footprint, recycling, pollution, green. All these are words which are being used to cover ecological aspects. And the last one is legal. Legal talks about all the laws applicable in the country, laws, regulations, legislations, even patents, trademark, copyrights. These are part of law, right? And it doesn't matter which kind of law. It could be corporate law, it could be customer law, it could be data privacy, it could be employment, health and safety, whatever kind of law. If it's a law, it will go under this thing, legal. Any questions on technological, ecological, and legal before I explain some more points? Road and infrastructure, just remember it's part of technology. Don't try to understand why it is part of technology, okay? Just road infrastructure, it is all part of technology, because technology is not only IT, it's also the physical infrastructure, electricity, dams, transportations. All this is part of technological infrastructure. You're not doing a PhD in pestle. Just understand the basics. Sir, for a PSU technology, what's a PSU technology? Where will ethics fall? Ethics? What is ethics to do in pastel? If you want to put ethics somewhere, it can go into culture under social, right? So in a public sector organization, technology, external progress, a threat as they have a finite treasury. I don't understand. It's too specific question. Please focus on basic concept. Do not complicate, please. Can patents fall under technology? Not necessarily. But okay, yes, there is, you can. Yes, all right. So now something important. It is generally easy to identify political, economy, social, technological, ecological, legal facts and figures from the case, right? You can easily identify. If you remember the keywords, you can identify. But you remember examiner's comment that marks will not be given for just simply copy pasting. You will need to add your own input, remember? So the first thing is you have to mention favorable or unfavorable. So for each factor, like political, once you have discussed all the factors, then you have to conclude or like judge and say that whether the political environment is favorable for my business or unfavorable for my business. Similarly, for economy, you will have to say whether it's favorable or unfavorable, and so on, depending on the type of information. If the tone is positive, it sounds good for the business, we will say this factor is favorable. If the points are negative, it's getting dirty, it's getting difficult for the business, we will say the factor is unfavorable. Second thing also, you should write the impact. So supposing the economy is unfavorable, what will be the impact? Can anybody tell me? If the economy is unfavorable, what will be the impact on my business? If the economy is unfavorable, what will be the impact? Yes, there will be unfavorable economy will adversely affect my customers, and hence my revenues, and hence my profits. Very good. Someone said lower profit. Very simple answer. I like simple answers, basic simple answers. If the economy is not doing good, how does it impact my business? It will affect my customers, my revenues, and hence my bottom line profitability. Very nice. Now, if the political environment is unfavorable, like the government policies are getting tighter and the government is getting difficult, and hence the political environment is unfavorable, how does it impact my business? Supposing the political stability is doubtful, we don't know whether the government will stay or not stay. How does unfavorable political environment impact my business? Very good. Uncertainty. Very nice. Okay, just make your life simple. We can say that unstable political environment creates uncertainty, due to which long-term strategic planning is not possible, or it makes so anything which is uncertain, if the future is uncertain, it will make long-term planning difficult for businesses, right? Just remember this one sentence. If the political environment is uncertain, it is unfavorable, it creates uncertainty, and hence it makes the future planning difficult. Simple, please. Huh? Okay. So impact, you should try and mention impact, but sometimes in the exam conditions, it may not be possible to talk about impacts for all the 6 factors. Sometimes the situation is tricky, sometimes you may require to write a lot to explain impact. We are rushed for time, so you know just at least make sure that out of 6 factors, you at least talk about impacts in 3 factors. Preferably you should talk about impact on political factor, the impact of economy factor, and one more impact from any of the 4 remaining factors. The third thing is overlapping points. Overlapping points means that in pestle, one point can actually fit into 2 factors, or some even 3 factors. How? I just give you an example. Let's say the government is encouraging eco-friendly machineries, or sorry, in order to encourage eco-friendly machines, the government is offering tax rebates for firms who are investing in eco-friendly machines. This is mentioned in the case that government is offering tax rebates for firms which are investing in eco-friendly machines. Now, this point can go where? Can it fit under economy, political? Yes, because the government is trying to promote good ecological practices. Can it fit under ecological factors? Yes. How? Because there, people are becoming more and more eco-conscious. And thirdly, can it fit under legal? Yes, because the government has implemented or amended the tax laws to offer tax rebates. So tax laws are becoming a bit favorable. So a point can fit into multiple factors. It all depends how you draft it and what is the argument which you are saying. So there is no one right place. That is the beauty of pastel, that there is no one right place for anything. A one point can be used in multiple factors provided the way you draft your argument is logical. All right. All right. The next topic is Porter five forces. So please recall, can anybody tell me when do we use Porter five forces model? Yes, very good, very good. Keep it up. Porter five forces model is used to analyze the industry environments of any business. And why is it called Porter five forces? Because as per Porter, all industries have five forces present. Power of customer, which is customer is a main ingredient or a key stakeholder of any industry. Power of supplier. The third one is something called threat of new entrants. The fourth one is called threat of competition. And the fifth is called threat of substitute products. So in any industry, you will always find these five forces: customers, suppliers, new entrants, competitors, and substitutes. Okay. So power of customer. So let me explain to you the concept of power of customer. Supposing you guys are customers, okay? You guys are my customers. I am selling stuff to you. So I am the seller, you are the buyer. What would you like? Would you want your power to be high or my power to be high? Tell me. Exactly. You will want your power to be high. You want to be more powerful so that if you have more power, you can influence me, right? You can enforce your prices, your term and conditions on the seller. The power of customer. And what do I want? I am the seller. Would I like that my customers have high power? Or would I like to see my customers having no power or low power? Yes, I would, as a seller, would want that customer power should be low. But you as a customer would always want that your power should be high. Correct? It's a tug of war. Now, who will win? Who will win? You want your power to be high, I want your power to be low. Who will win this race? So it depends on certain factors. This one. It depends on the size of the customer. So if you are my customer and you are much bigger than me. So for example, you are a multinational customer or a company, or you are a global company. I am a small time vendor. So of course, if you are large, branded, global, multinational, huge volumes, you will have high power. But if your size is small and the supplier size is huge, then customer power will be low. So one most common factor to decide or analyze customer power is by the size. So if customer size is large, then customer power will be, come on, I repeat the question. If customer is size is large, customer power will be high. Very good, guys. And if customer is smaller, is very smaller than the supplier, customer power will be very good, very good, very important concept. Another factor which can affect, so the first one was size of customer. Another factor which affects voter the power of customer is there any brand or uniqueness in the product? So if I am selling a branded product or a unique product which no one else has, then you think customer power will be high or low? So if my product is very unique, very branded, very prestigious, customers power will be low. Very good. Supposing you want to buy a Rolex or a Ferrari, and you walk up to them and you say, okay, I want to buy a Ferrari, but I will give you 100 rupees only. He will say, get lost, right? Right. So if the product is branded or unique, then customer power will be low because customer is willing to pay a premium, right? But you can opposite it. You can turn it other way around that if the product has no uniqueness, if there is no brand, if the product is pretty standard, pretty general, you can find it anywhere, then customer power will be high. Very good, guys. Very good, very good. What else? So size. The third one is whether the customer is willing to pay any premium. So if the customer is willing to pay a premium to buy your product, you are not cheap, and the customer is paying some extra money or premium to buy your product, customer power will be low, right? Otherwise, why would customer pay premium if his power is high? Very good. Very good. So all these factors will help you decide in your exams whether the customer power is high or low in the case study. Because for each and every factor, you have to mention whether it's high or low. You know, for pastel, you are supposed to mention favorable versus unfavorable, but in quarter 5, you are supposed to mention high or low. There is no concept of medium, okay? So either it's high or low, just for exam purposes. All right. Power of supplier. So here, what is the meaning of the word supplier? This is where a lot of students get confused. When we say supplier, so you're talking about the person who is selling to you. No, that's not right. So let's go back to our original example. You guys are customers. I am the supplier or seller, right? You are my buyers. You are buying from me. I am selling to you. So you are buyer or customer. I am seller or supplier, correct? But when we talk about power of supplier in this point, this is talking about my raw material suppliers. Like if I'm selling to you finished goods, I may be buying it first from somewhere, right? I might be buying the raw materials from my vendors or my suppliers. I might be manufacturing the raw materials from the raw materials. So whoever I am buying from my suppliers, the keyword here is raw materials. Okay, that is the supplier who is being talked about in this point. Power of supplier means the power of the suppliers from whom I am buying my raw materials. Is that clear? Very good. So now, if I am buying raw material from vendors or from my suppliers, what do I want? Do I want my power to be high or do I want their power to be high? Yes, my power, because now I am at the buying side. I want my power to be high so that I can crush, I can shoot my supplier. I can have my terms and conditions and prices enforced on that bugger supplier. So now what factors decides whether my power is high or low? Again, same factors like this one, size of supplier, right? So what is the size of me versus the size of my supplier? If my suppliers are huge global suppliers, I am a small time buyer, my power will be weak. But if I am a big company and my suppliers are smaller than me, then my power will be high. And are we willing to pay premiums if we are buying raw materials? Okay, very good. Now is the thing, the third force is threat of new entrants. So what is the meaning of new entrants? Can anybody guess here? New entrants. So new entrants are, yeah, new players, rivals, new companies or new people who are entering my industry. So they are becoming my competitors, right? A new entrant are new people who are joining the industry, and now once they join, they will become my competitors. So that is why it's called a threat, because it's not good. Because the more new people will join, the more intense the competition will become, and more it will affect my profits, my market share, right? So how do I protect myself from the threat of new entrants? The key word is we have to look for barriers to entry. How can we stop new entrants? By creating barriers to entry. And what do I mean by barriers to entry? I want to make sure that newcomers, they are not able to enter the market. Like it's not easy to enter the market. And how can I make sure? Maybe through patents. So patents is a good example. Government approvals, government license, franchise, all these are typical examples through which firms they create barriers to entry. So what is a patent? Or supposing, let's start with simple one, government approval or government license. So if it is an industry which is highly regulated and nobody can start a business unless the government gives a permission or a license, like a bank, like oil and gas companies, like large hospitals. You need proper permissions, like an insurance company. These are all regulated sectors. So wherever there is an approval process or a license required, it automatically creates some barriers, right? Similarly, patents means that if I have an innovative product, I will immediately go and have a patent. I will patent that product or patent that formula. A patent means that no one else can copy or manufacture same product like mine for X number of years. So the by law I'm seeking a protection that no one else can copy or imitate my products. If they do, I will go out and I can sue them. So patent also gives me protection against new entrants and competition, right? Similarly, franchise is also the same thing. Franchise is geographical territories that for this particular city or this particular country, I am the authorized distributor or seller. No one else can enter this market legally. So all these are basic examples of barriers to entry. Now, something very tricky. So if the barriers are high, the threat of new entrant will be low. Does that make sense? So if there are strong barriers present, then the threat of new entrants will be low. Correct? They work in opposite directions. They are indirectly related. And if there is a no barrier, that means anybody and everybody can enter the industry, then the threat of new entrant will be high. So it is low barrier, threat will be high. If there's a high barrier, threat will be low. So you have to talk about the threat in your answer, whether the threat is high or low, and you can decide that by looking at barriers. Do I have any questions? High capital investment, yes, that is also a good barrier that it's a capital intensive industry. Yeah, yeah, yes. Are employee suppliers? Not really. Unless they are a very, very technical person, then yes. Otherwise, generally, employees are not suppliers, they are internal stakeholders. Can strong brand be a barrier? Yes, yes. Very nice, very nice. So you have to mention high or low, okay, for threat of new entrants, and how you will decide by looking at barriers. The fourth one is threat of competition. Again, you have to say in your answer whether, in your opinion, the competition is high or low. Straightforward data will be given to you in the exhibits. What are the keywords? So the case will talk about competition or rivalry, or it will tell you the number of competitors. Market share, that's a very important word. Market share is linked with competition. So market share, from that you can judge whether the competition, you are a market leader or you have a very small market share. Patents and franchise, they also kind of affect the competition. So if there are, okay, so if there are, if I have taken patents and franchise, the competition will be high or low. If I have taken patent, what do you think? Competition will be high or low? Yes, it will be low, because patents, it protects me, it reduces the threat of new entrants, and nobody can copy my product or sell similar products. So when there is a patent or franchise, it automatically reduces the threat of competition as well as the threat of new entrants. Nice. And the last one is threat of substitute products. So what is a substitute product? So substitute product is a product from another industry, but it satisfies the same needs. So a competition will take away my competitors exactly same way a substitute product will also snatch away my customers. The only difference between competition and substitute is competition is from within the same industry and substitute comes from another type of industry. However, I don't give a shit about it because for me both are threats because they both affects my customers and revenues. Like Pepsi and Coke, they are competition, right? Because they both sell carbonated soft drinks. But Pepsi and juice or Pepsi and water is a substitute, right? Because again, water or juice satisfy the same need, but they are not carbonated soft drink. So substitute product also you need to judge whether the threat is high and low, and the case will tell you about the substitute whether there is any substitute or not. Any questions on Porter 5 forces? Again, it's very, very important that you mention high or low, giving some logics. If you don't mention high or low, you just copy paste facts and figures and move on without commenting, you will not get any marks. Any questions before we do a real paper scenario? What happens if some of the aspects of the model are missing? Very interesting question. Someone asked what happens if some of the points of the model are missing. Did I say in the start that in SBL the emphasis on models is quite low, and anyone who doesn't use a model can also get marks? So with this sentence in the backdrop, now you tell me, in case one or two factors information is missing from the model or from the case, what to do? You just ignore it. Okay, if any information is missing, you just skip the heading. Doesn't matter because in SBL the focus on model is the focus is not on the model, the focus is on actual practical answers. So if any of the information is missing, you just ignore the heading and move on. No big deal. Never ever get stuck in a model in SBL paper. You can start with a model, you can give broad headings, and then don't worry if one or two headings are missing. Can we mix two models? Why would you want to do it deliberately? But yes, if your answer is logical, I don't care. Again, as I said, it's the focus of the examiner is not on model. The focus of the examiner is on the outcome, the answers, the logical answers. So even if you mix 10 models, but your outcome, your answer is sensible, you'll get marks. Can we use both models if limited info is given? Yes. If the question says analyze external environment, both models need to be used. Even if the information is limited, you use partial pastel and partial Porter 5. You have to go with the case. It all depends on the information, right? If the no information is there, You are not going to create information from your own stomach, right? Please understand, it's very practical paper. Yes, you are a CFO. Very good. All right. So let's now do one question. I have like 15-20 minutes left now. So let's move on to a question. I want to show you how to do it. One last thing, sorry. There's something called analyze strategic position of ABC company. Sometimes the examiner says analyze the strategic position. So whenever you see the word analyze the strategic position, you need to do three things. You need to cover three things in your answer. You need to do for macro or pest or country using pastel preferably. Then you need to talk about the micro environment using Porter 5. And then you will need to analyze the internal environment or internal factors of the organization. So these three things, one, two, and three, together they are known as strategic position. And normally a strategic position question is at least 15 marks. Why? Because it covers so many things, 15 or 18 marks. Why? Because you need to talk about pastel, you need to talk about Porter 5, and then you also need to comment on internal factors. It's a lengthy one. So what are the internal factors? There is no model for internal factor. Just remember, talk about human resource. That's one of the key internal resources or internal factors of any organization. You can talk about financial resources like profitability, financial position, gearing, and you can talk about IT or brand. So these four things, human resource like experience, expertise, financial resource, IT, and brand. These four things together they make up for the internal factors. All right. Now let's do exam practice question, and this is a question from your actual SBL March June 29 2019 paper. It's called Smartware. It's called question number 1. It's on your CB platform under practice exam number 3. So let me go to Smartware CB platform practice exam number 3. So this paper I need to go back because this is some other paper. Go to SBL, official resources, practice exam, and I think the smartware is practice exam number 3. Okay, and SBL practice exam 3. This one I will resume. Right, so I've got this question in front of me. It is smartware question number 1A. So let me open the Word document before I do anything else. I just reduce the size and then it's question number 1A. So let me open the top question. This is the question. Now, very interesting. It says required. Prepare a briefing paper. Prepare a briefing paper to be presented in the next board meeting, which A. Analyzes the environment in which smartware operates and consider how this might impact its business model, mission, strategic goals. 10 marks. And there is no professional marks for this one because professional marks is mentioned here, but it specifically says that this professional marks is for part B. Okay, so this question, this part A, does not have any professional marks, which is very rare. It's an exceptional thing. Sometimes it does happen that there is no professional marks for a particular part, but that's very rare. So what's the requirement? Analyze the environment in which smartware operates. It doesn't tell me which environment. I mean, when the word environment comes, it means external environment. But you remember there are two types of external environment. One is country environment, the other one is industry environment. So this doesn't, it just says analyze the environment or analyze the external factors. So what do you think? Which model can I use here? Most of you are saying both. Very good. Very good. That because it is silent, because the question doesn't specify whether he wants us to talk about macro environment, country environment, or micro or industry. That is why I will go for both. But however, all of you were right. However, I want to show you something interesting. First of all, how much is the marks for this? It's only 10 marks. So don't you think that if you do a pestle and then you also do a porter, that means you apply both the models, don't you think 10 marks is a bit too low, right? Because normally only if you just do pestle, it is normally 8 marks, 10 marks. And if you just do porter 5, it is generally 8 to 10 marks on its own. And if you are supposed to do both, then at least 13, 14, 15 marks question, because there are two models. So I have a dirty feeling. I feel that something is not right. If I want to do both, the marks is too less. Because for 10 marks, you just have 18 minutes for 10 marks. I don't think I'll be able to do full pestle and full porter 5 in 18 minutes. So it will throw off my time management big time. So that's one flag I want to raise, that you also look at the marks. And then we have to first, before reading the bold requirement, it is important that we read the background of the requirement. Right now, what we did was we directly read the requirement and it was deliberate. But sometimes the examiner is very sharp. He mentions some details in the unbold portion before the requirement. So I'm not going to read everything because we are short of time, but can you read this line? It says the board of smartware wants to fully understand how the general environment is impacting the company. Now, how many guys are CFOs here? Are you able to see the keyword? They want to understand how the general environment is impacting. Can you remind me? General environment is which environment? Very nice. It's the country, another word for country environment. The directors so the board are just interested in the general environment, and hence which model? Only pestle. So I told you two things. One, that it is important to read the background before the requirements. Sometimes some important information or hint is provided in this background. Never directly read the requirement because you might miss some information. And then you can also judge from the marks, okay, that something is wrong. Similarly, if you feel the topic is very small and the marks is very big, again you should reread the question just to see that you are not missing out anything. So this is the smartness which a CFO has. We need smart CFOs, right? Not dumb CFOs. So this is where your mind should say, hello, the marks is too less. Something is wrong. Let's recheck. Is that possible? Good. So now we know. So now what is the and now format is briefing paper. So we will draw a briefing paper. But can anybody tell me this briefing paper is for part A or for part B or for both? Can you guess? This briefing paper should cover both part A and part B or any one of them? Yes, this briefing paper needs to include two things, A as well as B. So I would now make a briefing paper which will include both these things. Okay, so I will open the word processor. I will first make the template of my answer. I will okay, so we require what? A briefing paper, or is it a briefing note? It's a briefing paper. Okay, I copy the briefing paper, control C here, here, paste, 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 briefing paper. Then what happens? It says to, from, subject, date. Okay, I will quickly make it heading 1 and center and underline. 2. Who wants this? Prepare a briefing paper to be presented at the next board meeting. So whom should we address to? Please tell me. Oh God, come on. Board of Directors. From. What is my role? I don't know what is my role, but it will be always mentioned on the first exhibit. Here. You are the external consultant engaged by Smartware. So what is my role? I am external consultant. I will do control C. I will close this. I will go here and I will paste. External consultant. Subject. Subject will come from the requirement. So what is question number 1? Analyze the environment. And what is B? Assess the major risks. So subject should be very simple. I would say environment and major risks. That's it. Date 7th September 2021. And then I need opening sentence. Okay. Let me beautify it. Heading 3. Opening sentence. This briefing paper. How do I draft it? I'll just copy from analyzes the environment in which smartware operates. Enough. I will copy this. I will go to the word. I will paste it here. Analyzes the environment in which smartware operates. And what was part B? Assess the major risks presented by current business model. Control C. I go to my Word document and I simply paste it. And assess the major risk presented. That's it. Now I will say the first one is General environment. This is a what requirement 1B, 1A, right? Question 1A. I will just centerize it. I will look at Mary Sexy, general environment, and then I will say which things we need to cover. We will say political, economy, social, technological, ecological, legal, right? These are the broad headings. Okay. So I created the answer template first. Do you think this looks sexy? I'll just show you here. Here, do you see that? It looks nice. This is how the examiner sees. There's a broad heading says briefing paper, and there's a to, there's a from, external date, opening sentence is here, and then general environment, and then I gave subheadings, and then I will create another for risks as well. So the main thing was in the format I covered both part A and part B very smartly in the same briefing paper. So any questions on the format? Are you okay with the format, the layout before I link the answer and draft the answer? Very good. Very nice. Should we mention the name of the model? Not really. Again, why do you need to mention the model's names? And I told you 1,000 times the focus is not on the model. Very good. You're a CFO. Do you think the board is interested in knowing the name of the model? Honestly, I always say that think from the perspective of the board of directors. You're writing a report to the board, right? So don't you think the board will say, hello, which model is this? Please explain us this model. No, 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 no. Very good. All right, now let's quickly move. I've got like 10 minutes left. So I first created the answer template on my Word document. Okay, so now I know that my template is ready. All I need to do is I will just look for some information, copy paste it into my template, add my own comments here and there, and move on. So now let's look at overview. So I know that there's some answer hidden in overview. So any idea about this? Smartwear is a long established clothing retailer in Noria, a highly developed northern European country. Where can I use this information? Highly developed country. Can anybody tell me which factor of pastel? Highly developed country. Very good. It's part of social. So I will just dump it here. Okay. Again, I'll go back. Which is currently in the middle of deep economic recession. Where I can use this information in the middle of deep economic recession? Tell me. Economy, you think? Sure. Yeah, the word economic is there. So I will just paste it here. Again, I'll go back. The country is also experiencing political uncertainty because of its coalition government, who many people believe will not last for its full term of office. Where can this go? Political uncertainty. I'll just copy it. I'll go here, and I think it should go under political because of the word political uncertainty. Now, these two factors have contributed towards record high levels of unemployment, low business confidence, and steady decline in the standard of living. This is the impact. So, unemployment, where will it go? Standard of living, all this is part of think. Social. Okay, all right. What about this? During the recent economic downturn, we all know that economy is not doing good. Smartware has been able to profit from the growing number of price sensitive consumers who had shifted switched from blah 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 blah. So is this is telling us that because of the economic downturn, it was in fact good for us. So generally, economic recession is bad for businesses, just like COVID was very bad for a lot of businesses. But some industries will definitely benefit, like Zoom, like gaming, like sanitizers, masks. These industry bloomed in COVID, right? So same here, that it is saying that although the economy was in recession, it actually benefited us. Where can I write this? It's about the economic downturn, so I pasted it here. And then what about, there is one more exhibit. I know this, that's why I'm going directly to this. So there's one thing, Herald, one exhibit, Noria Herald article. What about this? A recent report issued by Finance Ministry has forecasted negative economic growth. Again, where will it go? Here. But you see the pasting is not good. Do you see the pasting? I'll fix it later or maybe now. Sometimes, in this practice platform, uh, the copy pasting functions misbehave. Finance Ministry has forecasted negative growth in near future. Okay, so when your copy pasting is not working, then unfortunately you will need to type your stuff. What about one more information? Price inflation has been running in 7% over a year. Or adult supplies, there's some statistics given. So I always like using statistics in my answer. Wherever you see statistics, please try to use in your answer. It will get you extra marks. Inflation is well over 7% since last 1 year. Khalas. There's one more statistics and then I will end here. It's saying that more than 8% of adult population are unemployed. Unemployment, it will go here. Right, so we brought a lot of points, right? So now we need to say whether it is favorable or unfavorable and try to add our comments and impact. So what about political? I would say that Noria is experiencing political uncertainty because of his baba 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 baba. Is this favorable or unfavorable? Unfavorable. What's the impact? Guys, please have a look. I just, added my own stuff. Very simple. This shows that the political environment is unfavorable. This will create uncertainty and make future planning difficult for businesses. Simple. Now this answer is perfect. Half portion is linked with the case, and I have explained the above point. I have explained why this point is relevant, why I have picked up, and based on that, what is my judgment. This is the job of a CFO. Similarly, okay, do you have any questions before I move to economy? I'm being asked to end the webinar. Any questions on the way to draft and add your comments? Very good, very good. Sir, you said it should be mentioned first. It's okay. Very good, very good. Economy. We will say that Noria is in the middle of deep economic crisis. Finance Ministry has forecasted negative growth for near future. Full stop. Inflation is well over 7% since last 1 year. These are all the facts. Now, although the economy is unfavorable, Noria has been able to profit or benefit from the growing number of. Very good. So if Noria is able to benefit, this shows that the negative economy is actually favorable for smartware. And due to this, smartware revenue and profit should increase. Basic stuff, that's it, done. Nice, huh? What about social? Noria is a highly developed northern country. However, there is record level of unemployment. Blah, 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 blah. More than 8% people are unemployed. Okay, I'll just merge it here. That's it. That's it. So technology I did not find, ecological I did not find, legal I did not find. I will just delete it. I will just beautify it. I would say heading 4 or heading 3, heading 3. Done. My answer is finished. I'll just show you how it looks to the examiner. I will press the print button. And here you go. Briefing paper, general environment. I talked about political. I talked about economies, gave so many points. I talked about social, and done. Very simple. There are two parts to your answer. One is you bring some facts and figures from the case, and then you add your own comments and draft a nice format. Should look easy. Did you notice? I took a very simple approach. The moment you start complicating SBL, you will get stuck in your own trap. So how many points are needed? Very good question. So generally 1 point carries 2 marks. Okay, so if it's a 10-mark question, we have to give 5 points or 5 paragraphs. So political, we gave 2 points. Number one, we first identified the scenario, and second para was our comments. The second one is economy, and the third. So we give 6 points at least for 10 marks. That's pretty good. Partial requirement. Why do you think I answered partial requirement? I did a full general environment. Whatever is the information available, I use that. Why do you think it's a partial requirement? I don't know really what you have in mind. I don't understand your point. This is exactly how you need to do in the exam. Yeah, part B we did not do part B of the question. You are right, because you have not studied risk, right? I just explained pestle, so I just showed you pestle. Conclusions, very good question. No need for conclusion. Okay, please, whenever you prepare a report or a briefing paper, stay away from conclusion. Unless the question specifically says, asks you to conclude, then yes. Otherwise, just do the actual requirement and move on. Please simplify. I mean, if you have studied from some other teacher, then it's better that you follow that teacher, okay? Because all teacher has different styles of teaching and different approach. What I don't want is that you studied another teacher, most likely a good strong branded teacher from LSBF or something. Don't try and do a hybrid approach. You just stick on one side. Okay, do not try and confuse stuff. My approach is very exam oriented. I know the level of students generally out there, so my approach is to simplify stuff so that you guys are able to handle the paper in 4 hours. I'm not going to give a very ideal answer just to impress you guys or make you, or you guys become an expert, because in that case you will not be able to handle the proper time management under exam situations, right? So my approach is purely very exam focused under timed conditions. So guys, this is a reasonable answer. I have given 6 points. You see, there's social. I have mentioned the facts and then I added my comments. This will be considered as 2 points. Economy, I mentioned all these 1 points. This one is another point. This one is another point. So all these points, this is a point, this is a point. These are all points. So if you get 1 mark for each of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 out of 10 is not bad if you're on time. And remember, there is no professional skills here. Otherwise, you would have got another 1 or 2 marks on professional skills because I gave a very nice format. All right, guys, I need to wrap up now because there's a slight overrun. So I hope you guys found today's session helpful. And tomorrow will be another day, but tomorrow we will be doing more question practice. Today was all about setting the tone right and the foundations. So with that, I would like to say good night to you, all of you, and hope to see you tomorrow, sharp 8:30. Till then, guys, you guys take good care, stay safe, and good night.